Welcome everybody, this is Diorama Don here once more, and subject this time is 1950s, 40s, 50s, maybe 60s, old gas pumps. Could be part of a diorama. I did make a diorama of an apocalyptic garage 2 or 3 videos ago, and I put some gas pumps in the front there, but I thought it would be worth making a video showing you how I made them all. We've got the pumps in there, and the globes as well on top, which will be a bit of a surprise as to what I used to make those a little later on in the video. So without further ado, I will get into how I made them. Okay, let's make a start. I've used quite a good grade of polystyrene, nice and easy to cut, nice sharp edges. As long as you've got a sharp knife and cut straight, it turns out a good shape, a nice square block. I've made it 1 inch wide, 25 millimeters, and the height, I've made it 2 inches or 50 millimeters. 2¼ inches is about the height of a tall human being in 1/35 scale. So petrol pumps were not quite as tall as a person, so I've made them 2 inches tall. So there. Okay, so 2 inches by 1 inch is what I'm trying to say. I've made 3 different designs of gas pump, petrol pump, and using 2mm card, nice and easy to cut. So there's a piece on the front and on the back, and then a piece on the side and a piece the other side, but that will have a hole in for the as a holster for the holster. It's not a gun. The hole for the petrol pump itself, the handheld thing, you know. So that will go that side, and then, dear me, and then that on top. So it will be encased completely in 2mm cardboard. Now, to fix cardboard to polystyrene, it is possible to use a hot melt glue gun, which is what I use. But I put the hot melt glue on the cardboard and just give it a few seconds. Now, obviously, if you leave it too long, it'll go hard and it'll be useless for anything. But there is a few seconds that you can use to allow the glue to cool down a little. I'm trying to explain this the best I can. So after a few seconds, if you dab onto the polystyrene, obviously if you just stick it on, it's just going to melt the polystyrene. So if you dab it on like that, and you'll feel the stickiness getting stickier and stickier, and you'll see the strands of the glue. But as it gets stickier and stickier, after a few seconds, you're able to leave it there and it will stick without melting the polystyrene. Yes? No? Yes. Okay. So that's how I stick cardboard to polystyrene. So once that is encased in 2mm cardboard, then the front will be slightly smaller than the card we've used to encase the pump. So it's a 1/16 of an inch smaller all around. So that will give it a bit of a shape, a bit of a design shape kind of thing, if you can see that. So you've got the cardboard on the side, then you've got the original cardboard there, and then you've got a bit of cardboard slightly smaller there. Okay, So once we've got that done, this is a similar thing, but a slightly different shape. The corners are cut off there. So I've been a bit clever and tried to do it all in one piece by just scoring the right place, and that will sit over there like that. Yeah, something like that to give that shape. And then again, a slightly smaller front with a different size hole for the window to see how much gasoline you are getting or putting in. So that's that one, and this one is just a radius on the top. So again, that shape there, and then a round shape for the front, for the dial there, and that will sit over there. Right, have we got all that? I'll do all that, I'll put all that together, stick it all together, come back, and we'll go on to the next stage. Okay, so I've glued all the 2mm card all around the polystyrene. We now have the shape of petrol pumps or gasoline pumps. For the dial on the front, the best thing to do is download old petrol pumps from Google, print off, well, resize the actual dial, and print off and stick on the front, which is all very well if you have a printer. Well, I think I've mentioned before in previous videos that I have two printers, neither of which work, and I'm damned if I'm going to buy a third for that not to work. So I don't have a printer. So what I've done, now don't laugh, I've drawn the dials on the front there. There's a digital, well, not digital, but a different readout there, and then a clock readout on these two. So when I come to fit the fronts on, so I've put the 2mm card all the way around, but the fronts I've had to paint white first, because I've put a sheet of a piece of acetate or any kind of see-through packaging on the back to act as the glass on the front of the dial. So I had to paint it white first and then stick those on the back, and just a bit of a panel with very, very thin card on the front there, so that when I put that on the front, it doesn't look that bad, not really. I've done it in pencil because felt tip looked too much, and pen didn't look right, but pencil just seemed a better looking. So that one doesn't look too bad. I'm talking myself into this, and that one there. So we've got the dials then. Like I say, obviously it's better if you download an actual dial from an old gas pump and then cut that out and stick it on. But I am printerless. So when they're stuck on, then we've got these bits now. These are 3mm rather than 2, and these will go on the side. If I can find a pair there, they'll go on the side like that to give them more of a gasoline, well, a 50s, 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s gasoline pump. It gives it that kind of Art Deco look. So these, well, why the hell are they? There we are. So they go on the side like that on that one. And then on top of that, there's that. and then another one on top like that. So that gives then the shape, a better shape then of an old gas pump. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. Unfortunately, you have got to cut the hole out again in the 3mm card, which is not easy. So do be careful. Okay, so I'll do that with all three of them. I'll stick the fronts on and put these side pieces, and there'll be a top piece on that one. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I glued the sides on and gave them all a coat of white paint. And then, given that they were a little more brightly coloured than just white, gave them a coat of red and yellow paint. But I never intended for them to be like little toys, so I wanted them weathered and looking as they would do if they were 70-year-old gas pumps. So I gave them a black wash just to give them a dirty look, and then streaked with burnt sienna to give the rust, the impression of rust. So I think I've achieved that. Maybe a little too much, but they do look like old gas pumps now. A little too much on that one, but they can always be altered a little. Now for the tops, I wasn't going to put tops on like that, but I knew that's what they would have. The globe, the glass globe on top of gas pumps, but they are a specific shape. The roundness at the front and the back, and being circular, so difficult to make from cardboard, that's for sure. So being such an iconic shape, they had to be in keeping, really. So the only thing I could think of that was that shape, and please don't laugh, is Mentos. They are exactly the right shape for the globe on top of old gas pumps. You couldn't make anything more exact. So I stuck a couple of Mentos on the top there. I did say you can use everyday objects to make my dioramas. So there we are. I've put two Mentos on top there, and I've got a base that I shall stand them on. I'll stick those on a bit later. And for the pumps, the actual lead, I've just stripped back a piece of electrical wire and wound that round to make it look like a petrol pump handle, and then sprayed it silver. But what would be better, and I haven't got one, is to put silver solder all around, and that would make it look more solid and a handle. But just bent round like that and then painted silver is okay. So I'll fix those in the side there like that, and stick the other end somewhere, I'm not quite sure. And then that will be it. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back with the completed project. Okay, so I toned the weathering down just a little, just to make it look a little more realistic. I think that looks a lot better. Fitted the pumps. I think they look okay. Like I say, it would be better with a solder on there, that it would make them look more realistic. And set on the little plinth like that, I think they look okay. So part of a diorama, it would look okay with a garage scene. So there we are, finished. 3 gas pumps. If you've enjoyed the video, then by all means click that subscribe button, and you'll be notified when new videos come along. In the meantime, have a go yourself. Let me know how you get on, and in the meantime, I wish you happy modeling.